Thank you everybody for coming today. Those of you who don't know me, I know we've got a few newcomers here today. My name's Michael Jones. I'm the current London Regional Organiser for the British National Party, and I'm just going to start off the meeting today by just giving you a little bit of an update on our campaign, obviously for the London elections 2016. As you all know, we all engage with the public in the BNP. We're out campaigning every week, every month of every year, week in, week out, speaking to people in the high streets, on the doorsteps, putting leaflets through doors, getting our message out. But this election this year, slightly different. We're getting a bit more media coverage. We've been given an opportunity, a bit more of a chance, I'd say, to engage with the media a little bit more. The main reason, as we say, we've got the BBC here, as you know, today, is that where we're standing for the London mayoral election and a full slate of candidates on the London-wide Assembly list, that qualifies us for media coverage, basically. We had a TV broadcast a few nights ago on 3 different channels. I'm sure most of you have seen that. If you haven't, have a look on our website. Very good broadcast, getting our message out there. And in the last few weeks, David Furness, our mayoral candidate, has had he's been doing quite a few. Been very busy doing interviews and preparing a manifesto. I'll give you a rundown of some of the interviews he's been doing. He's done 3 separate interviews with BBC Television. He's had a couple of clips on the news. I think there's one going out on Monday evening at 10:45, BBC London TV. He's also done one with BBC Radio London. He's done an interview with them as well. He's done a recorded interview with BBC Radio 5 Live, which is obviously nationwide. He's been mentioned in the Evening Standard. This week, he's doing an ITV interview for ITV News. He's doing another live interview on BBC Radio London, which I believe he's on at 5:50 drive time on Wednesday with Eddie Nesta. He's also doing a 15-minute interview on the London Live TV channel, which quite a few people can get on. I know it's on Sky. I'm not sure what. You can get it on the ordinary preview. He's also got another interview with BBC Asian Radio this week. He's been invited to a hustings in South London that he's going to be attending shortly. And there's also other campaigning groups that are contacting us. Just want to know our views on things, our policies on different things. So we're engaging with lots of different groups. He's also got a briefing with the British Transport Police, things like this. So quite a bit of information they'll be giving him about counter-terrorism, all things like that. So there's a lot going on, and there'll be more interviews to come as well in the next few weeks, running up to the election. I've received this because I'm a postal voter, so we get these before anybody else. The London Mayoral booklet, we've got our advert in now, just going out to 5.9 million registered electors in London, and it costs us £10,000 to be in this booklet. So that's how much these sort of things cost. £10,000 to stand for the mayor, and then another £10,000 to be in this booklet. But that's to print that many leaflets, it costs a lot more than that, and this is all delivered by the postman, obviously along with the other candidates. So that's going out now. We've been delivering hundreds of thousands of these. We've still got quite a few to deliver, so we need everyone to step up in the next few weeks. This is our London leaflet for the Mayoral and the GLA. I'm sure most of you have already seen that. We've had the trailer, the billboard advertising trailer driving around with a tannoy system on, and so we've been getting our message out that way as well. That's been going down well with the public. We're also not just standing in the London mayoral and the London-wide list, we're also standing in a council by-election in London as well. And the reason why the by-election has been called is because a UKIP councillor has resigned. Well, first of all, actually, a UKIP councillor turned independent, like many of them do, and now he's completely resigned from the council. So, in the London Borough of Havering, this is, in Heaton ward, and I'm pleased to announce that our candidate is Denise Underwood. I think UKIP must hold the world record for councillors leaving, the resigning, turning independent, splintering off into other little groups within the council. So we've been campaigning there as well. We've got 5,000 leaflets going out in that ward, plus we've been canvassing. Me and Denise were canvassing there yesterday, getting a good response. People are genuinely fed up with Labour and Conservative. So there's plenty going on. Denise was also in the Romford Recorder, which I'll be showing copies to you of later. Just a little piece in there of all the other. Well, there's 8 candidates standing. Only 7 were in there. For some reason, UKIP never got back to the paper in time. Yeah, so there's plenty going on. We just need everyone in the next few weeks to help us out, deliver the last few thousand of these, because we've got plenty of these still to go through doors and hand out in the high streets. And you know, we've won a seat on the GLA before, and we can do it again. Yeah. So, you know, we know, and we've got to get the message out there to the public that BNP are putting in a strong campaign in this election in London, and the BNP are certainly here to stay. Yeah. David Furness is our mayoral candidate, and he's also our #1 candidate on the London Assembly list. So if we are fortunate enough to win a seat on the London Assembly, then David will be representing us as we had a representative on there once before. So, ladies and gentlemen, London mayoral candidate for 2016, British National Party, David Furness.
Very much for attending. My name is David Furness. Many of you know me. I'm currently the West London organiser and the London Secretary. I'm standing for the Mayor of London because London needs a change and needs a new vision. We can't go on like this. Yeah. There are 3 main issues affecting Londoners: housing, immigration, and the threat of Islam.
That's all right.
Terrorism. Now, the other candidates, they're not really addressing the problem. They say that we should build, but we're running out of space. Everybody knows that London is full up.
Yeah, that's right.
London's full up and fed up with immigration. We can't go on like this. Yeah. It's estimated that London's population is increasing by 10,000 a month. And that's 120,000 a year, and people are talking about building 50,000 a year. We just cannot keep up with it, and we've had enough. Enough is enough. Candidates won't acknowledge the role that immigration has. They keep letting them in, and it just cannot, it's unsustainable. Now, the UKIP candidate mentions it, he's paying lip service to it, but he's talking about an Australian points-based system for immigration. That's been tried in Australia. It doesn't work. We've had, what they don't tell you is that we've had an Australian-style points system since 2008, and it's all to do with skilled workers. Now, UKIP say that they want 50,000 skilled workers, but the existing limit is half that. So UKIP actually want to increase it. Yeah. And then 50,000 doesn't include their children and their dependents. Anyway, just to get UKIP out of the way, UKIP has already achieved its goal of wanting the British people to have a vote on the European Union. They've got it, so they're redundant now. There's no point in voting for them.
Yeah.
After June 23rd, they're no longer needed, and their leaders already talking about rebranding UKIP, or even closing it down. But anyway, we've come up with some London policies, and they're broken down into different categories. I'll start off with the economy. The first thing, we must get out of the European Union. We've been talking about getting out of the European Union longer than other groups. Now, I got a leaflet the other day. I don't know if anyone else has got one. The government's £9 million they spent on that.
Sent one back.
You sent yours back, yeah. I made a video where I put it through the shredder. It's a simple how-to guide. It lasts a couple of minutes, and it shows you what to do. The first thing is to take the staples out, and then you undo all the papers and then put them through the shredder. It's very satisfying. I made a video of it. YouTube, David Furness, BNP. But anyway, that was good. And one thing that struck me on that, it said we will be safer in Europe.
No.
No.
Live.
I mean,
No.
it's very likely Turkey will join the European Union. So we'll have 70 million Turkish Muslims coming to this country. And if we remain in the European Union, all France has to do is give French passports to those people in the Calais jungle, and we won't be able to stop them coming here.
Right.
So we must get out of the European Union June 23rd. The other one, we must end foreign aid. At the moment we give foreign aid to 20 of the most corrupt nations on earth.
Right.
While we've got poverty here, while pensioners are dying, our children here are living in severe poverty, and we're giving money away to some of the most corrupt nations on earth.
Yeah.
So we must end foreign aid, spend it on our own people.
Yeah.
I want to review all London mayoral vanity projects, such as the London Garden Bridge. It's a bridge, it's an idea that came up from Joanna Lumley,
Oh,
and
Boris.
it's estimated it's going to cost £175 million. And after that, it's going to cost £2 to £3 million per year. I think that money could be better spent on something else.
Yeah.
On to transport. We welcome the introduction of the London Underground night tube. That will be very useful because sometimes I've been stuck at 12 o'clock, they've closed down the lines and I didn't get home till 4 o'clock in the morning. So that is a very welcome addition, but I welcome it, but as long as the outstanding issues over pay and conditions have been resolved.
Yeah.
So I believe in talking to the trade unions.
Yeah.
At the moment, City Hall, Transport for London, they have this belligerent attitude towards the workers. It's very much a them and us situation. I want that to end. I say no to Heathrow Airport expansion. The other candidates have expressed their opinion. I say no. It's not needed. It's bad for the environment. At the moment, Heathrow Airport is Europe's largest noise polluter. The problem is the flight paths go over heavy congested population, heavy congested areas. It will mean that several villages around Heathrow will have to be obliterated.
Yeah.
Also, what you won't hear in the media is that there's a cemetery called Cherry Lane Cemetery in Hillingdon that's likely to be concreted over, and that will involve the exhumation of 10,000 bodies just to make way for some concrete for Heathrow. If we have to have a new runway, put it at Gatwick, because Gatwick wants it, less environmental impact. I say people before profit. want to protect the free travel card for Londoners who are over 60 years old. At the moment there's talk that it may be withdrawn to save money, but I want to make a pledge to protect that card for those who are over 60, so those who are coming up to 60 can rest assured that under my direction it will be protected. Free travel card protected for over 60. Now, you've heard of Crossrail 2. In principle I agree with it, more, transport, but I don't think there should be a Crossrail 2 station in Chelsea, in the King's Road. Now, the reason why, I grew up in that area, and the streets are very narrow, and the residents don't want it. Because I've done a lot of canvassing in that area, they just don't want it, they don't see the need for it, but the council like it. And what the council have been doing, in anticipation of that, they've been moving residents out of social housing with the excuse, oh, those buildings are 100 years old, we need to do it. But what their intention is to demolish them and build luxury flats with planning permission. I've been invited into some of these flats. They've got high ceilings, well lit, well maintained, but the council and property developers, they don't like it. They want to demolish it so they can build. It's not needed. And that will save up to £1 billion, it's estimated. They want to build a station nobody wants, apart from them. Now, it's estimated it would cost just £700 million to bring all London's roads up to scratch. Because at the moment, the councils are having to pay out because of potholes. So I would rather not build a station there and spend it on the roads, and I think that would benefit a lot more people. We want to protect London's black cab taxi trade.
Yes.
It's world famous, it's recognised throughout the world, and what people may not realise is that taxi drivers, black cab taxi drivers, have to pass the knowledge. And it takes about 3 years. It's one of the hardest exams in the world. People don't realise that. We support the black cab trades, and we want restrictions on Uber, such as the introduction of a 5-minute waiting time to enforce the law. We want cycle rickshaws to be prohibited. They're just a nuisance.
Nope.
But also we want to pressurise TfL, Transport for London, to ensure that all foreign nationals for whom background checks cannot be made, because they may have difficulty, they may say they've come from a war-torn country. At the moment, what they're doing is, if they can't check their background, they're giving them a licence anyway. So we think that's wrong.
Why,
Because they could have criminal convictions, we don't know. So that needs to be addressed. Another thing we want to do, is review the effectiveness of London's bus lanes. Now, personally, when I go from my home to the A40, it used to take me 5 minutes. Now, after the bus lanes are introduced, it takes me 15 minutes. And in my part of West London, as soon as the bus lanes come into operation, 4:30 to 7, it's absolute gridlock. So I get the impression that Ken Livingstone started this. He's just taken a map of London, looked at all the roads and got a pen and said, right, every road there, we'll put a bus lane in it. So I'd like to review that. I want the traffic to be moving. At the moment, you've got thousands of vehicles stuck in traffic, causing pollution. I've even come across a 24-hour bus lane in Hillingdon, and the buses don't run 24 hours. That's a bit odd. So Ken Livingstone's got a lot to answer for that.
Yeah.
Now, the other thing that annoys me, and I think it may annoy some of you, is I've got no problem if they adhere to the law, but many of them seem to think they've got a right to cycle on the pavement. Every day I see it, many times I've been nearly run down, and if you say something to them, they start arguing, and they think they've got a right. They actually think they've got a right, and I'm not joking, they think they've got a right to cycle on the pavement. And so, I think there should be a crackdown on that.
Yeah.
We want to explore the possibility of having bicycles to have number plates so they can be identified. It works in some other countries. We could start with these Santander bikes, so-called Boris bikes, and maybe, I think it's a good idea to have all cyclists have mandatory insurance and training. Because I've seen many accidents where buses and lorries, it says, don't be careful if you go down the side of the bus. And they just go full speed, and the bus stops to let someone out. Bang. I've seen that happen a lot. And really what gets me, when they're cycling on the pavement, they're not going slowly.
Yeah.
They're going along the traffic, it's blocked, and they jump up on the road and they're going like an Olympic race. So something should be done about that. Okay, now on to crime and policing. We want to have zero tolerance on antisocial behaviour. A 5-year minimum sentence for all knife crime in the capital. Since they've eased off stop and search, there seems to be a stabbing every day. I look at the newspaper, another stabbing. So I want an end to politically correct policing.
Yeah.
We want more police on the streets, more visibility, and I think the police should be more proactive in crime, not just record crime, react to it. If people phone up, they'll say, I'll give you a crime reference number. I remember once I phoned up and I said to them, someone's just tried to get in my car. And the policewoman said, well, yeah, we've had a lot of that. And I told him where it was. Oh, yeah, that's happening all the time. I said to them, well, why don't you put a placard up? Why didn't you warn motorists? Oh, no. So it's more proactive. Find out where the crime is, do something about it. We should scrap the requirement that all Metropolitan Police officers should not be a member of any political party. Now, they're not allowed to be members of any political party. Now, I think it's absurd that police commissioners in England and Wales can be members of a political party, but police officers can't. And the mayor, who's head of the Mayor's Office of Policing and Crime, he can be a member of a political party, but police officers can't. So that needs to be changed. There's one way we can improve, help to eradicate crime, and that's improve street lighting. Now, in Ealing, they've got a programme of replacing out-of-date, these yellow lights, I think they call them high-pressure sodium lights. They're replacing them with new energy-efficient LED lights, and that means light-emitting diode lights. Now, that means it's brighter, increased visibility, and it's lower cost to the council. And it's also helping to reduce road accidents, and it helps to make people feel safer. Because sometimes I've driven along, some areas are very dark. I don't know, you can't see the people. And it's, from the data from Ealing, it showed that in 2 years, in the areas that they've put these new lights, crime has decreased by 17%. So that's a good thing. So that's what I welcome. Environment. Green policy is very important to the BNP. We've got one of our highest ever votes on green issues, on unsustainable housing. Now, we will seek to improve recycling facilities. There's a recycling facility near me, it was closed down, so nobody's got anywhere to go. Now, one of the most important things we want is hands off the green belt. No building on the green belt. One thing that will help the environment more than anything else is to stop all further immigration. We need to give ourselves breathing space, literally. We're choking. There's pollution. See, this excess immigration is linked to housing, shortage, pollution, environment, most things. We need to give ourselves breathing space. We need to stop immigration now. The adoption of alternative energy sources, solar panels, on all public and private buildings. Investigate that. As I've mentioned, improve street lighting. I've mentioned Heathrow Airport. That will just increase further air pollution, noise. It will overburden the underground. It's quicker to get to Gatwick than Heathrow. Don't know if you've ever been on the Piccadilly line there to Heathrow. And road traffic. Also on green issues, we want more trees to be planted in London. It improves air quality, but it also makes the area look better and makes it feel better. There are in London some ancient woodlands, such as up in Ruislip. It's called Ruislip Woods National Reserve in the London Borough of Hillingdon. That must be protected as much as possible. So funds should be available to assist local councils who are responsible for these ancient woodlands. And they're also helped by volunteers. Volunteers should give them assistance. Now, one of the biggest problems that people tell us about is housing. We should build more where we can, but without compromising quality and infrastructure. But the most important thing, we want a local connection assessment test for social housing. So the longer the connection with London, the greater the chance of moving up the housing queue. So if you grew up in London, you were born in London, if you went to school in London, and especially if your parents were born in London, then you've got a great chance of getting social housing. Recently in the newspapers, a family of 8 from Coventry. They got fed up living there, they came to London, and the Labour-controlled Camden Council put them up in a multi-million-pound house. Now that's not right. They should have told them to go back to Coventry. It's not right that people come over here from abroad and demand social housing immediately. Under the BNP. That's got to stop because various areas have changed demographically and the councils have played their part in doing that by giving priority to the foreigner. I say we give priorities to native Londoners first. Of course, we should give special consideration to ex-servicemen and their families, vulnerable people, especially homeless, the sick, the disabled, and those suffering from domestic abuse. Now, under the right to buy system, what people don't realise is that a large chunk of that, the sales they get, goes to the Treasury, it doesn't go back to the council. So we say, that all the receipts from the right to buy sales should go to the local council in order to rebuild. at having a land tax on hoarded building land to ensure that more brownfield land is developed. I'd like to scrap the bedroom tax. We've also got a big problem with houses of multiple occupation in London. So there should be strict licensing of that. And also, there's particularly in Ealing, but also in Brent, there's a big problem of beds in sheds. This is a generic term for people who live in the sheds, garages and other outbuildings. It's estimated in Ealing there's up to 60,000 people living in sheds. And I've seen it myself. As I'm walking the dog, I can hear music from garages. There should be a crackdown on that. That's leading to overcrowding and the spread of diseases. In Brent Council, the borough of Brent, it's got the highest rate of TB, tuberculosis, in the Western world, greater than some Central African countries, due to overcrowding. That's got to stop. Immigration, well, all I have to say is stop immigration now. We want a moratorium on that. That's just a fancy term for saying stop until further notice, until we sort out this mess, until we discover who's here legally and who's here illegally. Everybody knows that. We want no amnesty for illegal immigrants, no refugees. Those people in the Calais jungle, to me, they're not refugees, because they're not escaping from a war zone, they're escaping from France, which is a safe country. The moment they left a refugee camp in Turkey, they now become economic refugees. They're looking across the channel and they're saying to themselves, I can get a better deal over there. That's not a refugee, that's an economic opportunity. Getting out of the EU will help stem immigration. Landlords should be allowed to decide whether their premises are smoking or non-smoking. That may appeal to smokers. It's estimated that that's contributed to the decline of some pubs. But we should leave it up to landlords. We should campaign for free parking in commercial areas to support local business. Now some councils will do it where you get half an hour free parking. Many times people want to go to a shop or they have to pick something up. They immediately slap with a tip, £60. Now let's have some free parking just to encourage local business. We support the principle that everyone who comes to live in London must learn and use English. Islamisation. We should take steps to defend our traditional Christian faith. We want to ban Sharia law, no Sharia law in this country. We want to ensure that existing community buildings, such as pubs and churches, are not turned into mosques. We want to ban the burqa. 50% of people agree with us on that one. Now, our other campaign is to have St George's Day as a public holiday. Last year, Boris Johnson, he had some ceremony in Trafalgar Square, but he refused to have proper English flags. Instead, he had these communist-style red flags. They're ashamed to be English. We will restore proper English flags and campaign to have St George's Day a public holiday. How can you do all these things? But the Mayor of London has great influence. It's one of the most important political posts in the country, and the Mayor of London has great political influence with the government. So there's everything to play for. We're also going in the local, what do they call it, the local list? The London-wide list. That's on the orange ballot paper. Now that part of the election is proportional representation, so every vote will count. All we need is 5% to regain our seat on the London Assembly. So, I've given you an update on the London, so all we had, it's up to you now, it's up to you. You know what to do. Vote David Furness for Mayor. Yeah. Vote on the orange list. That's the most important thing. Every vote will count. And remember, I was asked on Friday to come up with your campaign slogan. They asked all the candidates, sum up your campaign in 3 words. And I was told some of them, the other candidates, are struggling to come up with this. They're struggling to come up with 3 words to describe their campaign. I came up with our campaign in 3 words, and it's very simple. It's written in here: stop immigration now.
To donate to the British National Party, please call 0844 809 4581 or go to www.bnp.org.uk/donations/general. Or you may send your cheque or postal order to PO Box 213, Wigton, Cumbria, CA7 7AL. Also visit our website on www.bnp.org.uk.